Hello and welcome to the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Paula.
And today we're talking about mindset, money, growth, all of it. So let's get started.
As the co-founders of the Landscaper Circle, we help you get more money, time and freedom to become limitless. Through our experiences as fellow landscapers and our tried and tested methods, if you want help with your marketing, managing or growing your business, you've definitely come to the right place. If you're a landscaper, garden designer or supplier to the industry, then hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show. So I've been having a few one-to-ones with our members lately, and what's really been prevalent amongst our conversations is really all about mindset, because ultimately you can be doing all the things, doing all the marketing, the sales, all of the things, but if your head's not in the right space, you're probably not going to generate the results. Because we've got a whole subject on this in the Landscaper Circle if you're a member. I think it's
planning and mindset. Yeah,
planning and mindset, and it goes into a lot more detail, but I wanted to touch on the subject today because it's all about getting your mind in the game. If your mind isn't in the game, and it's not just about positive thoughts. I think some people think that mindset is all about just thinking positively and it'll all be okay. It's not just about that. It's about putting routines in place. It's about making your mindset open to change. It's making yourself more aligned with your business and your goals in order to achieve the goals that you've set.
Yeah, and I think with routines, it can be making your environment around you, your work environment, as in if you're in the office on those set days or set evenings, making it so that it's the best place for you to be productive. But also, a really classic example that I've had before is something important that I'm doing, rather than being able to give my complete creative energy to it because I was so drained, it'd be like, that'll do. And it's those kind of instances where it makes the difference. And also your intention, or I don't know what to say, or I don't know what to do. And that's kind of from overwhelm, which is all from the mindset and allowing you.
Yeah, and also it's about preparation. So some ideas for things that you can do to get your mind in the game from the moment you wake up is, instead of getting up and immediately thinking of what you need to do, what you can do, you can sit down, relax, have a breather and plan your day out. You can journal, you can set intentions for the day. So that could be anything from, today I'm going to achieve X, Y, and Z, or I'm just going to be happier today if you've been quite snappy. Set some intentions for the day. Maybe even go for a walk, do some activity to get those endorphins going, to keep you in that sort of positive frame of mind and improve your mindset as soon as you wake up. I think the problem that happens is you get up and then you start worrying about what happened yesterday, what you've got on today, and you essentially start the day in a state of worry, possibly anger if it hasn't gone very well. And essentially you're looking back rather than looking forward and seeing what you could do today to make today better than yesterday.
Yeah, and I think a game changer for me was, if you're very analytical and don't like the woo stuff as much like me, then what I did was just tested. So, okay, let me test planning my day before I go home from work. Next day, I'll test doing it in the morning, or I'll test doing it at lunchtime and seeing what works for you. So now, before I leave, I plan out my next day, write down anything that I need to write down. And then in the morning when I get up, I stop looking at my phone instantaneously, because where I've got multiple social accounts for our clients and us on my phone, there's 100 notifications that come through from Instagram. I don't look at any of that. I start off by going downstairs, getting my coffee and putting music on and just sitting there, and I just sit there. And I guess a form of meditation, but for me, I struggle with guided meditations a lot of the time. So that for me just helps center me in the morning, keeps me calm, and setting the boundaries as well. I think a lot of it comes down to boundaries. So I'm not going to start looking at work until I go either into the office or on site, or you set like a half-hour boundary. So half an hour before I leave the house, I'm going to start looking at my phone and start doing stuff. It's about testing and seeing what works for you, really, to help your mindset going in. I know my mindset, rather than rushing about and immediately starting as soon as I get out of bed and my brain's all over the place, I've given myself time to wake up. That's what we don't allow ourselves often as business owners. We don't allow ourselves time to wake up, for our brain to get in gear. I know that I'm not the same without coffee. So allowing that to happen.
Yeah, and I think you brought a really good point, the phone thing. Most of us, as soon as you wake up, you reach for your phone, you start scrolling through social, you start responding to emails that might have come in overnight, and you start looking around your phone. Now, that's the worst thing you can do. Particularly, I hate social media, as in I love it for what it can do for businesses, but I hate the way it makes you feel when you start
on a personal level.
Level, when you start scrolling.
Yeah.
So from a business perspective, it's great. I enjoy interacting with other businesses. I enjoy seeing what people are doing, like particularly when designers and landscapers are posting images out of what they've just created and stuff. But when you start looking at it on a personal level, like what other people are doing, and you can start to really quickly get quite depressed and quite stressed, because you feel like my life isn't as good as that. My business isn't achieving this. They're doing better. I'm not very good, and the self-loathing can come in.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, so for me, for example, mine's more so scrolling if I'm bored, or because I get a notification regarding one of the business accounts, I'm like, oh, let's see how that post is done already. And I go onto it. And so one thing that I did last night, actually, if you're on Android, I'm guessing that there's a similar thing on Apple. There's under settings, digital well-being. And it shows you how long each day you've spent on your phone.
Yes, they do this on
and also it's how long you spent on each app and an average. So on average in the last week, I've spent 2 to 4 hours on my phone. Now I do play Spotify through that, so that's kind of one thing, but Instagram was way up there in where I spent my time. So for the social media apps, you can set app timers. So on that digital wellbeing section, I've set, I think, a 15-minute Facebook limit, because I don't really go much on Facebook, 45 minutes for Instagram because I have to use it for business as well as personal. And then TikTok, again, I reduced to like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And basically what happened was, it was quite interesting last night, because I put it on and I set the limit for 45 minutes and I'd already surpassed it for the day for Instagram, and it grays the app out and it has a little love heart. And when you tap it, it says, oh, you've surpassed your time for this, either increase the limit or come back tomorrow. So you've got a button that says increase the limit or okay. And I was so bored last night that I wasn't even consciously realizing I was going to Instagram, even though, oh no, I've set the timer. And I did it about 3 times throughout the night. And so that was really interesting, because I was like, okay, I am spending more time on it, because I've been like, I've well reduced the amount of time on it. But even then I was like, I barely spend any time on it. And then I look, it's like an hour and a half each day.
Being conscious of where you're spending your time, because also what we hear a lot from business owners is you haven't got time to do X because you're so busy. Well, when you start setting timers on your apps and really looking at what you're doing on your phone, you probably have way more time available to spend doing things that will grow your business, move it forward, implement certain actions that you've been putting off. I know I spoke to a member yesterday and he's been putting off a whole host of stuff because he just doesn't want to deal with it right now, and he doesn't feel like he's got the time. So maybe looking at your digital well-being is a place that you can start to try and claw your time back.
Yeah, because as you say, it does affect your mindset. If you're constantly on social media comparing yourself to other businesses, then that isn't going to help you at all. And I think that's a really easy way to take a small step, because it takes less than 2 minutes to set up. And you don't have to stick to a certain timer. So say you had 45 minutes, but then you found you only really needed half an hour, reduce it, or the other way. So I initially set it as like 30 minutes. I was like, okay, well, that ain't going to work. So we increased it to 45 minutes. And I know that when I talk about social media to a lot of clients, it's like, I don't have time to interact with people. I don't have time to do this. Well, I'm saying I'm putting 45 minutes for business and personal when I'm managing multiple accounts. All you really need for business probably is 10 minutes a day for your one business on social. Any more for personal that you want, really. But it's a quick and easy step to make sure that in the morning in particular, because you can also set focus modes and basically block certain apps at certain times a day. So if you find that in the morning you are waking up and instantly scrolling on social or going on your phone, you could block your email, you could block your Instagram from being used until 8 a.m, 9 a.m. And then that's another way that can help you, because I know it's really hard to initially set that habit.
Yeah, it's about reducing the distractions, increasing your focus, taking some more focused actions. But to do that, you need to get rid of the distractions. And something I spoke to a member about yesterday again was about the mindset of letting people down. He had a real issue because he felt like he was always letting clients down by moving their start date. Now, this is inevitably happening all over the industry because we have issues with supplies, weather always plays a part, and sometimes jobs run over. So you do have to maneuver some people's start dates. Now, what I did say as some practical tips is just preparing people. So set people's expectations. So by sending out automated emails just to explain the process of what happens, and also what could happen that might make you delayed, just so they understand it. So you might not be delayed with that client. However, if you are, they've already received a number of emails explaining the process, why you could be delayed, what's happening at the moment. You know, maybe you're having issues with certain suppliers. If you prepare them in advance, then you're not letting them down. They're almost pre-prepared that they might have a slight delay. And I just think it's about managing people's expectations, so you then don't get stressed or overwhelmed with then having to feel like, oh,
I haven't called them yet, I haven't done that yet. Yeah, and I think as well, if anything, they appreciate that more, because it reassures them that you're not going anywhere, that you are literally just informing them every step of the way, and that appeases them and makes them calmer and less stressed as well. So you're less likely to get any blowback from clients, because they're like, oh, you've been really amazing, you've kept us informed every step of the way. And I know even for a lot of Paula's business, her testimonials, it's one of the things is kept me informed every step of the way. It's something that people appreciate, just so that they know. And even if that is automated emails or something else, it really does help. And looking at and allowing yourself to look at ways to help you get rid of that overwhelm. Because I know fear of letting down was something that I struggled with, but it's all about setting boundaries and expectations.
Yeah, it all comes back to mindset at the end of the day. Your mind's got to be in the right frame of mind. If you're feeling rubbish, tired, like on the edge of breakdown, every action you take will come from that place and with that energy. Whereas if you're calm, centered, happy and ready to go, and you know you're focused, you've got clear goals, clear actions to do, you know what you've got to achieve in this day, you know your intention for the day, the week ahead, then you're going to achieve so much more. And it's going to come from a place of much more positive energy. You're going to be attracting the right people, all of that sort of stuff. And maybe that's a bit too woo for you, but I love it.
Yeah, because even in a place of the wrong mindset, like a less woo example I can give people if they're less on the woo scale is that you'll not focus on the things that you should be focusing on. So you'll look for the things that give you that instant gratification, like clearing through your email inbox, because it feels like you're busy and it feels like you're achieving something, versus doing the bigger or slightly different things or scarier things that actually require more of your energy, but are the bigger payoff. So it's all about how can you create an environment, work-wise, personal-wise, to help that mindset and to help you in your business and your life.
Yeah, and moving on from mindset, but we'll probably cover slight elements of it. We have got a masterclass. So if you're looking for a way to grow your business that you might not have thought of before, or you just want to explore different avenues of growing your business, then you need to get yourself on the masterclass this Thursday, the 30th of September at 10 a.m. So with myself and Charlotte, which is a feat.
Yes.
And we'll be going through some strategies on how to grow your business. You'll have some clear actions. It might just get your focus more into it. It might improve your mindset. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, you might just have a bit more direction.
Yeah, if you feel like you don't know where you're going or you don't know what strategy to do. And also, as well, as it is a free class.
It's free, yeah. I've got to say that. It's quite important.
It's free. So the link will be in the show notes, thelandscapecircle.co.uk/masterclass. So if you've got any questions, reach out in all the usual ways. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Enjoy. See you guys next time.